Okay, Mawashigeri. Mawashigeri is, should be treated very similar to Maegeri. The only difference is there's a slight angle. But with any type of Mawashigeri, Sokoto, there's all variants, and I'll try and go into those. Before I found Takamizawa Sensei, I ventured to different styles of karate and just trained and tried to take in some information from them. And the main thing that came out of it was that we tend to train linear. Yeah, so when we do Maegeri or Mawashigeri, it's always done up and down the room. Yeah. So Mawashigeri. There's different ways to do Maegeri. There's with the ball of the foot. That creates more penetration, rather than using the top of the foot, which is more of a slap. I'm sure it's more than that, but yeah, you need to go into the Mawashigeri. So looking at different styles and comparing it to Wado-Ryu, yes, for beginners and going through your Q grades, we go up and down doing Mawashigeri. But later on, you need to identify where you do this Mawashigeri and what position you need to be in. So the association that I belong to, later on in the Q grades and Dan grading, we do okuriashi, yoko okuriashi, yoko, and then the Mawashigeri. Let me try and explain. From here, I start the Mawashigeri. Sensei Keri can actually see this Mawashigeri from a long way away. From as soon as I start to do the Mawashigeri, he sees it. Yeah, quite early. Fighting stance. And this is 180 degrees. So it's a long journey for this Keri to do. If I do yoko okuriashi, can you see now how I've cut the angle right the way down? So instead of 180 degrees, now it's about 100 degrees. Yeah, then the kick. Keri has less time to react to it, especially if I'm using my body and my attack. So once you understand the mechanics of Mawashigeri, then try and be aware of cutting down time, cutting down distance by soto, okuriashi, then your Mawashigeri. Also, if you've done that, your Keri, your Mawashigeri will penetrate more, because it's not at the end of its journey. Doing it from here, rather than cutting through and the opponent's here, your Mawashigeri has more penetration. So when you do Mawashigeri, it's not only thinking about your foot, whether you do ball of the foot or ashikubi, but because my knee has gone past, the flow will go through and penetrate more. And it doesn't matter about distance, because Mawashigeri is not just only for the foot, but it's to do with the shin, the knee, the thigh. It depends on your mai, it depends on your distance. So it can be shin, it can be hiza. Not only chudan, jodan, which I won't be demonstrating. Yeah, also inside. Also, for a sweep. So the mechanics of mawashi-geri can be used from the sweep to the inside or the outside of the leg, chudan, also josakuti, ball of the foot, koshi. So try and progress what you're doing with your mawashi-geri. Obviously, having a new hip doesn't help, but I'm still training. I'm still trying to make it quicker. I'm still trying to make it, my muscles work, training. So keep on pushing. So when you come to do Keri Waza, it helps to understand the mechanics of it, and it's just not the mechanics of the technique, but how the keris are split. Basically, you have 4 basic keris, but they can be as complicated as you like. But in general, 4. And I've been watching Star Trek too much, but there's 2 groups. The first group, Maegeri, mawashi-geri. The second group is yoko-geri or sokuto, yeah, and ushiro-geri. And the way to distinguish the 2 and makes you aware of why is because the first group has 1 hinge point. The other group has 2 hinge points. Let me try and elaborate. The first group is your Maegeri and Mawashi-geri, which relies on 1 hinge point, major hinge point, and that is your knee. For yoko-geri, sokuto, and ushiro-geri, you use 2 hinge points. So with Maegeri, it's your knee. With Mawashi-geri, it's your knee. With yoko-geri, it's not just the knee, it's your hip. It's your hip that has to work. And it's quite difficult to do because you have to coordinate 1 hinge point with the other. They have to work at the same time. That's why people have issues learning sokuto for the first time, and ushiro-geri. Because it's not only understanding 1, 2, but it's getting them to open up and close at the same time, to coordinate them, to time them. Yep. Same with ushiro-geri. 1, 2. So hopefully from those demonstrations you can see both hinges working, or the 1 hinge working.